So if you haven't heard, I'm going through a divorce. And divorce is a lot like death. I've experienced a lot of that in my life. You have to grieve, and you have to get some grasp on understanding. And on Monday, we will have been married 14 years. We will have been together in April for over 20. And as weird as this may sound, it's almost like I'm grieving and mourning the brother-sister aspect of our relationship, or the friendship aspect, more than the romantic aspect. Because if you know anything about Disney movies, Ohana means family, and family's forever. Especially
families forever, and you break up your marriage. Because I said you break up your marriage because I know women are the ones who file 80% of the time.
family pick. If I run out of gas on the side of the interstate and I call him, no matter how many times I call, no matter how sad I am, no matter how alone I am, he's not coming. And he's told me that, and he's shown me that. And I'm having the hardest time accepting that. He's not my family anymore. Where am I going to be buried? Who's going to bury me?
Where are you going to get buried, and who's going to bury you? Is your husband supposed to bury you, or are you supposed to bury your husband? I think it's the other way.
That's the hard part. The unconditional love wasn't unconditional.
The question is, who broke up the marriage and why?
And he doesn't want to be my family. He doesn't care about me, no matter how much he gets at me or aggravated like he used to, because it's not unconditional. That's the hardest part.
Yes, when there's been any kind of breakups in any kind of relationship, it's like that. People go on, they move on, and they try to rebuild their lives, from scratch. You don't know what your ex-husband is feeling right now. He's also going through the stage of mourning the relationship, and he's trying to rebuild his life. And one thing she's not telling us is what happened during the divorce. Did he lose anything, like the house, the kids? She's not telling us that part, and he might be resentful about losing things that he worked hard for. That part she's not talking about.
Losing my family, losing my friend. I don't need another slow kiss or a love song dedicated to me. I need someone to show up with a gas can when I run out of gas. I miss having a best friend.
You don't miss having a friend. You miss not having your puppet. The man who was supposed to solve your problems while all he did was wait. While he took care of everything. Because you asked for divorce with the idea that everything would stay the same. But it's not like that. A self-respecting man sets limits and, above all, distance from the woman who left them. Because why would you keep a woman who told you she wants to leave around you? Why would you befriend that woman to keep doing her favors or helping her every time she has an emergency when it's not your responsibility? When she'll bring another man into intimacy, but only call you when she needs things done that Chad doesn't want to do. Listen well, man, if you got divorced, sign that separation paper. You are not responsible for that woman anymore. You don't have to fix her car, or the house she took from you, or anything to do with that woman. Because if she gave up your protection as a husband, just because she didn't want to take care of you, why on earth should you take care of her when she left you? Take away the privileges she had when she was your wife, and let her crash into the wall.
Yes, ladies, men have feelings too. When you sign that divorce paper, we struggle. Men do struggle. They might not show it, but they struggle behind the scenes. And you don't expect your ex-husband to play the husband role while you divorced him. It just doesn't happen that way.
Women complaining about their partner to their friends, to their family, on TikTok, isn't necessarily a reflection of their love and their relationship, right? Oftentimes, it's a direct response to the division of labor in their house and how unequal it truly can be for some couples. And I can't tell you that I've encountered any heterosexual couple that didn't come to some sort of reckoning before it became more equitable between the two of them. I truly don't know that I can identify one that...
I believe that women complain a lot about their relationships because women, let's say marriage, for example, they go into marriage with unrealistic expectations. They go into marriage believing everything is going to be fine, just like the way they have it planned out in their heads. And when they go into marriage and they realize that things are not the way they thought it was going to be, then that's where the resentment comes in. And a lot of women wakes up one morning and they start asking themselves, how did I get here? What am I doing here? Is this the best I can do? And, questions like that. And this is why I believe they go on social media, on TikTok, and they start complaining.
Was from the get-go an equal partnership, because one, the woman is carrying the baby, and two, when that baby is born, if you're breastfeeding, pumping, whatever, you just become burdened to that child in a way that your partner isn't. And so right off the bat, it is an uneven division of labor. And then that just can tend to pile on over the first year, 2 years, 1 to 2 kids, whatever that might look like. And so I think that the idea that women are complaining to bash men or to air their dirty laundry is silly, because what they're really doing is they're saying, it has become so unequal that I am now resentful of this person that I love, and I don't want to be. And so I'm looking for guidance and advice and a path forward. That is what most women are saying on this app, or just in general when they're talking about it. They're not saying, I hate him. They're saying, I am so emotionally, physically, and mentally exhausted, and my partner can't seem to see it. And
your partner can't see it because a lot of women don't speak out. They expect you to be a mind reader. I wouldn't say all women, but I would say a lot of women don't even speak out. They expect the husband to just look at them and understand what is going on. But I believe the real reason why they complain a lot and they resent their husband is because they finally realize that maybe this is not the man I want to be with, or maybe this is not the best I can do. That's what I believe.
Doesn't seem to care to help. And even if that's not true, that's what they're receiving. And so when you hear your partner or a woman saying that, what the response could be is, wow, I didn't realize I made you feel that way. Instead of, well, I go to work and I do this and I do that, so stop complaining. It's not complaining when somebody is asking you to show up and be their partner and to explore a new version of your relationship. It's not complaining. That is looking to continue a partnership and to build on the relationship you already have. And if you aren't willing to do that, then that likely says a lot about your commitment to them and your love to them. So they might sound like they're complaining when in reality they are looking to engage with you on what this could be and how it could be better.
Another thing is a lot of women like to control their marriages. They like to control their husbands in marriage. And when they're not getting what they want, trying to control their husbands, they become really, really resentful. So again, these are my own opinions and how I feel about what she's talking about.
The court notified me that my final decree of divorce has been approved by the judge. I have not gone to pick it up yet because I don't want to. I know that it sucks being alone. I come home and I'm alone. I go everywhere alone. I loved being married.
Don't these women think about what they do before they do it? Like, didn't you think about the outcome before you went ahead and pulled the trigger of divorcing your husband? And now you're full of regrets. I don't understand. Who talked you into divorcing your husband? Who gave you that advice that it was okay for you to divorce your husband? And now you are on TikTok crying to the world that you don't want to divorce your husband, that you don't want this divorce. I don't understand. Ladies, can you explain to me down at the comment section? Please like my videos and leave a comment below. I want to understand why these women go ahead and divorce their husband, then they turn around and they become so regretful. What is the deal? Don't they think about this stuff before they do it? Like, somebody leave a comment below and let me know what you think.
Apparently, she is not okay with being alone. But what did she expect to happen after divorcing her husband? She should be prepared for this, and this is the other side of divorce they hide from modern women. They don't prepare them for this stage. And this is why there are countless videos of modern women who left their husbands complaining about the same thing.
I know that I will get through this and move forward, but I don't want a divorce. I still am very much in love with my husband.
You're still in love with your husband and you got a divorce. I think what is going on here is that she lets her friends get in ahead. Women do this a lot. They're out there, like they say, misery needs company. They talk their friends that is in a loving and caring relationship, and they talk them out of their marriage. And look at this woman. Again, I'm not in the business of bashing. My channel is not about bashing women. It's just reacting to what's going on. I really do feel sorry for this women. Yes, I do. You know, I'm not one of those guys who will say, yeah, good for you, blah, blah, blah. No. I'm not that guy. I really do feel sorry for them. Look, it was a mistake. That means somebody has talked her into leaving her marriage. Ladies, stop trying to convince your girlfriends to break up or divorce their husbands. I know you women do this to your girlfriends. Stop doing that. Guys, give this channel a like, please.
I'm gonna be real with the internet for a second, okay? I know I come on here and I'm like, fuck men, fuck relationships, don't put me in a relationship, I don't want it, leave me the fuck alone. And right now that's how I feel, but like, I feel like 2 years down the road, like, I wouldn't mind. It's cute, like, I see it and I'm like, that's cute for you. You are the exception to the rule. Like, the way I feel about love and relationships right now is that, like, anyone who's in a happy relationship right now is the exception to the rule. Like, especially if you're my age, you're the exception to the rule. Like, what do you mean 20-year-olds who are in love and have a healthy relationship? What are you talking about?
When people are not winning at something, they tend to bash it. Hence the fuck relationship. And you're too young for this. 20 years old is too young. I remember when I was young. 20 years old was when people usually get married. That's when they find love, get married and settle down. But today's society, they've pushed this marriage age into 30s and 40s. And 20 years old, they play a lot of games. They think it's cool to not show that they love or like each other, and everyone wants to one up the other one to show how heartless they can be. And this is the result.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean this person respects you and cherishes you? What are you talking about? What do you mean trust? What do you mean trust? I'm confused. It's like, I just refuse to believe anybody has secure attachments. Nobody has secure attachments anymore. I don't. You probably don't. And so when I see...
There are people out here that still cultivate healthy relationships. But again, like she said, those are just the minority in society today.
People in relationships, I'm like, how'd y'all get over abandonment issues and trust issues? How'd you get over that? How'd you get over your avoidant attachment style? Well, how'd you get over your anxious attachment style? How do you do that? Who's the therapist? Send them to me. Send them my way. I just feel as though relationships it's something that, like, I feel like if I, get a little lucky, it might happen. I don't find it inevitable, is what I'm trying to say. I don't find a relationship a happy one where, like, I'm in that, like, fairy tale type of love where, like, I'm just like, wow. But, like, obviously we still have disagreements because that's what a real relationship is. But I don't see that for me. Not because I'm not amazing, but because look at my pics. Look at the options. Options? What do you mean options? You know what I mean? Like, here's the thing. I can't even find...
You're a woman, you should have options. A lot of women do have options regardless of how they look. It's just the way it is. So I don't understand what you mean by what are the options. You do have options, but maybe your options are not what you want. Maybe you feel like your options are not worthy of your love or your time.
I don't even... it's hard enough for me to find men that I even want to be friends with. That I even want to be friends with. Let alone date. And you're like, but you're bi. Yes. But all the girlies, we're just trying to make it. And also, I don't know how to fight with women, so, like, that's really scary. And I'm also just, like, a big, like, friends to lovers trope, so I'd have to, fall in love with a friend. And I'm not falling in love with any of my friends because they're crazy bitches. So, either way, that was a tangent. All I'm saying is, what was I saying? I think I was saying, a good, happy, healthy relationship I don't think is inevitable for me. And that's not where I started. I think I started saying that I wanted a relationship. I love how we just evolved here. Okay, anyways.
Isn't women to women relationship, doesn't, according to research, doesn't it show that they break up the most? Women to women relationship break up the most. Men to women relationship follows. Then male to male relationship at the least with breakup. You know, that really says a lot, ladies.
When you were in a relationship, should you really have a backup plan? There is new research that shows half of all women have a guy on the back burner just in case things go wrong in their current relationship.
A lot of men already have known this for a long time, and of course not every woman does this, but for the woman that never has had time between one relationship to the next, like she breaks up with a boyfriend and then she has a boyfriend in a week, she probably had him on the back burner. And men have a problem with this because it feels a little disloyal, or at the very least, part of why she can't stay long-term within a relationship is that she's always viewing the grass is greener. So men don't want to end up in a long-term relationship in a woman that sees life this way. But how do men avoid a woman like this? Men, this is where you want to find out some specific information about a woman that you're talking to before you start dating her, such as how long has she been single, and has she ever been really single for a long period of time in between relationships. This is so important because not only does that indicate that she doesn't keep men on the back burner when she's in a current relationship, but it's also an indicator that that woman can be happy alone. She doesn't need a relationship to be happy.
Over 70% in 2024. That is a lot, ladies. No wonder relationships doesn't last in today's 2024. And she said, ask the women you're dating how long they've been in a relationship. A lot of women will just lie about it. They'll just tell you, oh, I've been out of relationship for the past 2 years. I mean, what if they lie? How can you tell? The issue here is that men, we're in a rough time. And that's just sad that more than half of the women have a backup plan for when their relationships goes bad. That's really, really sad. Hey guys, before this video starts, I want you all to hit that like button, guys. I need your like.
I stayed in a marriage for 23 years and built up a family and my ex's career and everything, and we literally just got to where it was supposed to be everything we dreamed of. Like, owned a company, making, almost $1 million.
Did she say she built up her husband's career, or they both built the career together? I'm gonna go with they both built the career together, but she said she built up her husband's career. I don't understand it.
And that was my breaking point, and I left it all. And I'm not a person that is about money. I've kind of been in mourning of the oh my gosh, gave it all up. Everything was around my family. So when I chose to leave, I gave it all up. All up. I had no clue that the worst was yet to come in the 1 year of separation. And so it's weird because I find that I just thought today for a split second, and I'm like, what the hell's wrong with you? What the fuck is wrong with you? I thought,
yes, what the hell is wrong with you? A lot of you let your girlfriends talk you into divorcing your husbands. And this is pretty common among you women. You let other women that are miserable without a good man in their lives convince you to divorce your husband. And now you're coming back to your senses.
I should have just stayed. It wasn't that bad. You made it 23 years. You made 26 years total. Your kids are college and one's almost out of high school. You made it. You
hear that, ladies and gentlemen? She said it wasn't that bad. That's to show you that her husband wasn't a bad person, but she went ahead and divorced him.
It didn't matter at this point. They can do their own separate life and all that. You made it to the point where you guys were making so much money and you had big houses and you could do whatever you want and you can relax. And I literally just called my friend and was freaking out because I'm the biggest person that keeps me back. I'm terrified. I don't have 401k. My counsel did not have my back. I was so traumatized when I got out and then terrorized for the next year that I couldn't even think straight to help the people that wanted to help me, and the people I entrusted to help me didn't help me. And they're just timelines that you can't stop. And so it is what it is. And, you know, I'm 47 years old. It's not like I'm 25. I'm healthy, kind of. I have an autoimmune disease, which means it's life-threatening for the rest of my life. You know, things can change. But it's not like I'm an invalid and can't do anything for myself. But it is terrifying. Like, I could have stayed. I'm so mad that I think this way. I could have stayed. My life would have been so much easier.
Did you really love your husband, or are you just missing the good life? Are you just missing the money, the big house? I haven't heard you said you missed your husband, but I've heard you said a lot about you could have stayed. You had this, you had that, and how much your life was easier. Because that's another thing. Maybe she didn't miss her ex-husband, but she missed the good life.
I could have just gone and done whatever I wanted. Kind of. I mean, I say that, and then I think as I say that, I'm like, but you couldn't. It's like so weird that my brain thinks that way. And I called my girlfriend and I told her, I was like, I probably should have just stayed. I should have just stayed. It wasn't that bad. And she just started, she's like, Jenna, what are you talking about? Like, literally. And then I just keep thinking, I'm like, but I had a huge house and all my bills were paid for, and I never had to think how they were going to get paid. My grass was cut, well, about the last year of separation. But you know what I mean? All the basic things that keep the image up. And I gave up my entire image that I was trained to have for my family for 23 years. Like, I was the stay-at-home mom, and I made the image of we were the perfect family. I have beautiful children. They were dressed right. They, you know, did top sports like cheer and football and went to all that stuff. And I was, you know, the cheer mom and, you know, did all that stuff and then did photography on the side just to make money, to make ends meet while he built his career up. And I stayed long enough to just give it all up when it was like right there. And I'm so mad at myself because I'm not this way. I don't think this way, but it is hard.
A lot of you don't think that way, but you let your girlfriends convince you. This is another thing. When you're going through whatever you're going through with your partner or your significant other, whether you're a man or you're a woman, the last thing you want to do is to take your problems and start discussing it with your friends. Your friends will not forgive your husband or your wife. They will look at them like they're bad people, but you eventually will. You have problems with your partner or your significant other. You need to address those issues with your significant others and not to take it out there to your friends. And this is for both men and women.
To be a single female when you're 47, when your kids are out. It's not like I have little kids. I always say if I had little kids, this would be not even a question. Because that instinct comes in. I have to, my kids, you know, I got little kids. I got to get them up for school. I got to get them to here. I got to get them to there. I got to go to work. I got to do that. I don't have that. I'm literally at home. The worst time of my day is after the gym at night when the house is quiet and silent and I just am in my thoughts. And it's so hard. Like, I'm my own boss. If I don't go to work, if I get sick, nothing happens. And my Jenna photography would just crumble. And I love what I do. I have a passion for it. I love it. But I'm in my head. Like, I'm literally in my head. And I'm booking shoots and I'm doing amazing. I'm so excited. But every time I think future and long run, I freak out. Because my future was right there. Like, it was solidified. Like, I was comfortable for the rest of my life. Maybe not mentally in my relationship, but financially, I was fine. And I gave it all up to be happy. Maybe I should have stayed. It was like stable in every other area but that. Like, is my mental health really that important? And then she's asking if her mental health is that important. But then you didn't think about that. You only let your emotions get the best of you. Friends remind me, they're like, yes. Like, you're just in that crazy in-between state.
You see that, guys? She said her friends. That's some friends that we talk about. Friends are sometimes your biggest enemies. They sit at the sideline, they watch your beautiful life, and they come up with ways to destroy it. Do not take your problems to your friends. When you have problems with your partner or your significant other, sit them down and you guys need to work things out. Don't take your problem outside. A lot of people outside do not have your best interest at heart. Again, this is for men and women.
And I'm trying to work through it. I'm trying to work through the process. But it's terrifying. It's terrifying to start over at 47. but it's hard to know you gave away. My ex would probably never make less than $1 million every year, and I'm starting over, and basically as if I'm a 20-year-old again. And it just doesn't seem fair.
Hey guys, you notice in all these regrets that she have, there is no regret about how much she loved him. Nothing about how much she loved him, how much she missed him. It was all about the money, how much money he had or they had, the house, the beautiful life. You know, it's sad. I don't think she really loved the husband. I think she just misses the good life that she used to have there. And that's what this whole thing is all about. Guys, go ahead and hit that like button and please leave a comment below on what you think about what she just said.